Live, come on! We are live. Bettor Baseball Podcast. We're not wasting any time. I just literally hopped on this. Brian's been on here that and now we're hanging out. We're talking baseball, and I missed talking baseball with Brian. You know why I hit that live button right away? Because Brian and I haven't talked baseball in almost a week. Brian, baseball things. How are all the baseball things going for you so far? At least this week.
So far, going pretty well. I mean, I didn't expect the A's to be on an 11-game win streak. But
no. I mean, I remember we were talking about them early in the season. Like, this team kind of stinks. Like, this lineup's never going to be good.
Right.
And this lineup turned out to be actually kind of good.
Yeah, kind of good. I mean, they're also, battling it out for first place in the West with the Seattle Mariners. So that's a stretch.
Things are getting weird. Right? Are we at that? We're kind of at that part now where we're a few weeks in, and like the first half of the month or whatever we played so far was kind of weird, and then the second half of the month that we played so far has also been actually really kind of weird. And I think part of that is the A's, but also the Astros, which were hitting like crazy, can't hit now.
They can't hit. Their lineup isn't even their lineup anymore. No. Their bullpen can't throw. Their starters can't go long. They can't do anything. As Dusty Baker said in a post-game interview the other night, at least, he's like, look, every direction we turn is wrong. Every decision we make is bad. We just can't get it right.
That doesn't sound good. That all sounds like things are going horribly wrong right now for them.
Right. And, they're coming off, getting swept by the Rockies in a 2-game set in Colorado. So, I mean, to face the Angels at home, that's a tough ask.
Yeah, and I know at this point I keep getting questions. I got questions yesterday about the Astros on this podcast. I've been getting questions dating back to kind of last week. Guys, back off the Astros, excuse me, not the Padres, the Astros. Back off the Astros for now. They're not playing well. I once I see a spark again, them come back to life at some point, fine, we can go back, but if we're playing just based off of, first week or so numbers, those numbers have diminished and they're not playing that way. I think for now, just back off until we do find them to play that way again.
Yeah. Let them get their lineup back because, they're missing pieces from their lineup. And pitching issues aside, their lineup is just decimated with injuries and illnesses and whatever else. So let them get back together. Let them put the pieces back into place, and then let's go forward from there.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Let's go forward from here. Let's take a look at tonight's slate because one game that you did want to talk about today. Hey, it's a game that and a team that we were just talking about. It's the Astros and the Angels.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm saying this, Brian. Brian Slone, who is joining me, WinDailySports.com. This is the Bettor Baseball Podcast. My name is John Jansen. Brian, do we like Alex Cobb today against the Astros?
Situationally, I'd say yes.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe it. We got to back Alex Cobb today.
No,
not Pujols. We got to back Alex Cobb today. We have to do it. We have to back him and take that. Maybe we could take is this a nice one for a first 5 under because of the 2 pitchers? Because Christian Javier's also, he's been dealing with injury, but he's been good.
I would say so. I mean, he was sent down to work on his, endurance and to get that length out of his game, but he's back. So he's making his first start in, 10 days or so.
Yeah, April 8th, I think was the last game.
Okay. So almost 15 days.
Yeah.
I mean, even Alex Cobb is on a 10-day rest because he was supposed to start against the Twins series that got canceled for COVID reasons and whatnot. So he's on a little bit of an extended rest himself. But yeah, I mean, I think both pitchers should come out and do pretty well. I'm curious to see if Javier maintains his form from his last outing where he went 5-6 innings.
Yeah.
Really solid. Held the Athletics to almost nothing offensively. If he has a rough start, because the Angels bats are hitting. They are, they have power. They're getting their hits. They worked very well in their last series. They, sure, Texas kind of, fought back at the end. Their bullpen kind of blew a couple games here or there, but like offensively, the Angels are as good as you're going to get from
especially
most
get
teams.
against right-handed pitching. They're a top 5 team in baseball against right-handed.
Right.
So.
They're top 5. They got power up and down that lineup. I mean, they don't even have Rendon in the lineup. He should be back later this week, but even without him, they're still hitting up and down that lineup. It's a very tough lineup for an opposing pitcher to face.
Yeah, and I know the Angels are coming off of a series loss to the Rangers. So, John, why are we going back here and taking the Angels at plus 110? It doesn't seem like a good idea. Well, I'm getting plus money out of a pitching matchup that I at least know Alex Cobb, he has 10 days rest, but he's the one who's been up pitching. He's the one who's actually been good. His splitter has been working really well. So Alex Cobb, I think, is a pitching matchup that we can maybe take advantage of. Hey, you didn't like what you saw out of the Angels and their bullpen over the weekend or in that 3-game series, which has been bad. It's absolutely been bad. Just take that money line first 5, plus 108. Kind of take that variable out, and you're only losing a couple cents in terms of value. And I think you're going to get at least an advantageous matchup. And look, Christian Javier, he is making his first start in almost 15 days. Maybe the Angels will be able to get to him. And he's a little rusty, and he's not exactly what he was against 2 games. His first 2 starts and his only 2 starts of the season were against Oakland.
That's right.
Not sure what to really make of that. Christian Javier, I think, is a pretty good pitcher, but I think the Angels in this spot maybe get to him. And I think, Brian, it's probably worth taking a shot on the Angels today.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Javier's decent, but you're right. He's only faced the Athletics this year. His first outing against the Athletics, where the Athletics were not performing well, he got kind of roughed up in 3 2/3 innings. So, does he have a little bit of a, dip from his time spent down working on his fastball or whatever, getting his endurance up to stretch out his innings? Or, does he maintain his form from his last outing in against Oakland, where he went 5-6 strong, didn't really give the Athletics anything? I do think the Angels lineup is better than the Athletics. So I think the Angels are taking good at bats. And I think they will give Javier, maybe not trouble, but they're going to make Javier earn his pitches. They're going to make him earn his outs and make him do the work to get through his outing. And if he can't do it, then the Angels are going to, get him out early.
I completely agree. And I just want to make sure everybody looks at kind of these pitching matchups. This isn't good. I do want to highlight this game, Mets-Cubs. We'll get back to that. But these pitching matchups aren't really that good. This is all kind of brutal. I mean, who's the best pitcher on today's slate? It's definitely has to be Walker Buehler.
Yes.
And that's about it. And then we have nobody, especially when we go to this Diamondbacks-Reds game. And hey, Widener and Hoffman, sneaky good maybe this season. At least Hoffman's been a little bit surprising this year. Widener's actually been pretty good. Does that mean maybe we could take one of them? Are we taking where are we going here? Because I see this pitching matchup, and I may want to take a shot at Widener plus 120 because I don't think the Reds and Hoffman are really that reliable. But then we get into all kinds of variables and problems of, well, the Diamondbacks lineup isn't that good, and Hoffman still may be able to keep up his numbers while the Reds lineup is great. And while Widener's playing well, Widener could get hit. It's just this one has a lot of variables. So what about this game? That definitely you think you can maybe find an edge on, because it is a little difficult.
It is difficult. I do think both pitchers will be fine. Not exactly great, not outstanding. I think they'll be fine. Both of these games in the first 2 games of the series were really close. It was like a 1-loss game in the suspended rain game from the other night. Last night they went 10 before the D-backs blew it open for a handful of runs in the 10th. So the Reds are right there, and that's without Moustakas. That's without some players. Castellanos was on his 2-game suspension. My big key here is Castellanos. He is back from his suspension. He will be playing today.
That's huge. That's really huge.
Not only is it huge, he loves playing at home. His numbers at home are insane. Compared to the rest of his numbers on the road, his home stats are, off the charts. He's batting .371 at home. He has all 5 of his home runs at home. He should be able to hit Widener's stuff.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So
and that's the thing. Widener has good numbers, but I think underneath of it is also a pitcher that can get kind of hit pretty hard.
Right.
There.
Oh yeah. He can get hit. He's like I said, he's fine. He's a fine pitcher. He's not gonna excel in many spots against the Reds lineup. He's not gonna, shut them down for the duration of his, let's say, 6 innings if he can have a quality start. He should be able to match what Hoffman is doing. And that's about where you're going to expect the pitching performances in this game. I would expect them to match each other. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to shut each other down or both give up a ton of runs. But, you're looking at a handful of runs on either side. I think in the long run, the Reds lineup is playing very well. With Castellanos in it should be even better. So he gets his 3-4 at-bats. He should be able to put some pop in that lineup, and his numbers support him. It
does. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the number, right? Over 4.5. I think they reached that yesterday in a loss. But you bring in Castellanos. Winker has been awesome, and it's only 3 at-bats, but he's 3 for 3 with an RBI against Widener. Maybe this is a good spot here. I'm starting to come around to it because Castellanos at home, I think the Reds lineup even was starting to find their way a little bit, even without Winker at home or without Castellanos at home. Now you add his bat into the lineup, and of course the pop is there now, the extra bat, the guy who's probably going to drive in a few runs.
Yep. And the emotion.
The guy coming back from suspension.
Yeah, he's going to be fired up. He's going to be fired up to get his
it.
swings in, and Widener is a good pitcher for him to get his swings in on.
Yeah, you know what? I think so. I think I do want to maybe take advantage of this matchup, or at least I would take my chances with it because I think the Reds are a very good lineup. They're good at home. They have a matchup. Now, the only reason that you would be, or at least somebody who's betting on it, you're looking through it, and the only reason you'd be somewhat concerned is the ERA of Widener. Like, ooh, okay, this guy's been pitching well. Like, do we really want to attack a guy that's been pretty good this season? But eventually, with his stuff, I don't think that's going to be the case. The guy only has 11 strikeouts in 17 innings. So that's telling me that he's not really getting a lot of, swings and misses. He's not getting, I think a lot of guys to be fooled. It's just that he may be getting a little bit lucky. In Cincinnati, they're third still against right-handed pitching. We know their splits at home are much better. Everything is telling me that, should I bet Cincinnati to win? I'm not sure. They've lost 3 in a row. This could be a good bounce back game. Yeah, absolutely. But
you gotta be concerned about about Amir Garrett. You gotta be concerned about their bullpen.
I know Hoffman's pitching well, but I can't rely on Hoffman. I can't do that.
No, Hoffman should give you your 5 innings or so. He should be okay. Yeah. The D-backs do have some pop. It's not like it's just going to be a walkover for the Reds and Castellanos. It's going to be a competitive game, but if the Reds can't back it up on the back end of their pitching, then the D-backs are probably going to be in a nice spot to potentially pull this game out. So
yeah. And it is worth noting the Diamondbacks still are dealing with injuries, but even while they've been dealing with that, they've also won their last 3 games. So they've been hitting well. So I can't trust Hoffman here in this spot, but I think what I can trust is the team total. And I'm trusting everything I'm seeing. They're the team with the best WOBA runs created plus they're the best hitting team in their own ballpark. They are the best against right-handed pitching, in which they're going up against a right-handed pitcher that I don't think really misses a lot of bats here.
Right.
I think the Reds are going to barrel this dude up. I think over 4.5 is great, especially at plus money, plus 102. It's slight plus money. It's basically about even. I'll take that because everything is telling me that this is going to happen today, and it's going to happen in about an hour and a half. And I think if the metrics are telling me that much and I'm getting plus money with it, it's completely worth it. So Brian, absolute great breakdown. And now we're going to another one, which I had yesterday, and I hate to be doing this again. Because Brian, how many times have I told you I hate the Cubs lineup? I hate them. They're a terrible lineup. Terrible lineup.
They haven't been able to consistently do anything worthwhile. So
They scored 14 runs last night.
Yes, they did.
So a normal person goes, John, why the hell are you going back to a team that can't hit? They had 14 runs. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. It seems like you're really going to the well too often. Small little thing here that I don't think people are noticing. The Cubs actually hit left-handed pitching really well. Yes. They're top 10 in a lot of metrics when it comes to hitting left-handed pitching, and Joey Lucchesi isn't really a great left-handed pitcher. Brian, again, it's a little bit of, I'm surprised to see this. I'm surprised that this is the case.
Yep.
But the Cubs actually have the numbers are telling me that they have the advantage here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, this should have been DeGrom's spot in the rotation, and he asked to have, another day of rest to, wait for the next series and whatnot. And so instead of DeGrom, who would shut the Cubs down in all aspects of offense, they get Joey Lucchesi, who is like a golden goose for this Cubs lineup. Because, look, his last start was Saturday on the second game of a doubleheader against the Rockies. He gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and 3 innings or something like that. Like he got hit. And even with the Cubs not being the standard Cubs that we've seen over the last handful of years,
or just an average baseball lineup,
or just an average baseball lineup,
or even below average. They're not even below average.
You're not even below average. They're somewhere at the bottom doing something. I don't know. But this is a great time for them to put back-to-back performances together and work off the momentum that they had yesterday. If you're putting up 14, 15 runs against the Mets yesterday, to turn around and face Joey Lucchesi, I mean, just keep that batting going, because you might as well be playing wiffle ball in the yard or t-ball. This. The metrics that I've seen, the stats that I've seen on Lucchesi, all this stuff, all the numbers, everything points to him being bad.
Yeah.
Not to say he can't get through an inning here or there, but he's going to run into trouble. And I think the Cubs will be able to capitalize on that trouble. And I think they should be able to continue, maybe not 14 runs, but I think they should be able to continue to get good at-bats, solid contact, and get runners into scoring position. And maybe if they have to, get some runs in, playing small ball or manufacturing things with steals and aggressive base running. But I love the Cubs against Joey Lucchesi. It just screams yes to me that the Cubs will be able to at least do more than what the Mets can do, if anything else.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. If we're going with the over 4.5, I imagine we also have to play the -1 and 3 here on the money line, because the Mets. Yeah. They're winning games. They're over 500. They're 7-6 now. They were 7-4, but throughout those 13 games, and even when they were 7-4, their lineup just can't hit. Lindor got his first home run as a Met, but overall, I don't think this lineup's any good. I don't, or at least not right now. It hasn't been at all. And until they show me anything different, I can't bet them as if their lineup's going to put up 5-6 runs, because they just can't. They can't do it.
Right. The key thing here is that the Mets season has just been weird all around. They didn't get to play against the Nationals to open the season when it should have started, so they were set back a series. They've been consistently rained out, snowed out, weather delays all over the place. So they haven't had that consistency of playing like the other teams have had. Their numbers offensively are just smaller than other teams. Like the Cubs, I think, have like twice as many at-bats as the Mets. They haven't had the games consistently enough to really get into a rhythm, I feel.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I saw a thing with their hitting coach the other day, like, they've been hitting in the batting cage for most of the season. They haven't had the chance to consistently get out there, play those games, get the batting practice in on the field, get the real swings, get to play around, get to have, ball flight and stuff like that. They're just hitting balls in a cage, which is fine, but it's not game action. And I think when you start to lose opportunities to play games on a regular basis, like the Mets have had with all their weather delays and all their stuff,
Yeah, that's a good
it really hurts the momentum of the Mets lineup to get going. It hurts the cohesiveness of the lineup. I mean, look, Pete Alonso hit a ball to Waveland Avenue last night, 429 feet or whatever it was, but if they're not going to, like if he can't continually get his at-bats and keep that momentum going, it's just a hard start and stop all the time. It's like city driving on your car. Your brakes are going to wear out. You're going to have to change parts. So you need to have that fluid motion for the Mets to be playing consistently and to have their lineup get together. But yeah, you're right. Until they do that, I'm not betting with the Mets in my favor.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think they do have a little bit of lineup issues already, but you pair that with the fact that there's been no consistency in their schedule.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, they haven't been able to get going. Once they do play a few games, it seems like, all right, guys, let's put you on pause again. There's snow coming down. You're playing in 15 feet of snow. Good luck. But it's odd. It has been a really odd start. That's something that maybe we should take into account more. And I completely agree. You're tuned into the Bettor Baseball Podcast, WinDailySports.com. I did add Sinajad, did point out too, and I do actually like it. The Reds minus 135 on the money line for the first 5, while Hoffman has problems. And I don't expect them to win full game because the Reds also bullpen. There's just a lot of things that I don't trust. And I think Brian did a really good job of highlighting that. Bullpen's not great. Starting pitching like Jeff Hoffman, we're not sure exactly. But if you want to take a chance on the money line first 5, the Diamondbacks lineup is depleted here. They still don't have Ketel Marte. I imagine that Jeff Hoffman, maybe the first couple times through the lineup, should do okay. I don't think he's going to get hit hard. It's just that when you get into that 5th inning with him, then, you kind of expect maybe a few runs in that inning or 6th inning with him.
If he can avoid Asdrubal Cabrera, he should be okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because Cabrera's been hitting well, and he has decent numbers against Hoffman. So if he can avoid that potential bat in the lineup to hurt him, I think he should be fine. Like I said, he should be fine.
I completely agree. All right, WinDailySports.com, Bettor Baseball Podcast. I want to go to, this is probably, first of all, I don't think I got to talk to you much about Dodgers-Padres because we haven't had a show since then.
Right.
It's been what a great series that was. I can't wait for it again.
I've loved this series. I've loved all 3 games of the first set. Even the third. I mean, I'm a Dodger fan, so even that third game where the Padres won, like, okay, fine, whatever. But it was a good game. But yeah, I mean, this is what baseball should be. Maybe some more runs scored, but I mean, this is the high quality baseball that we expected from Dodgers Padres. This is the excitement at the end of the game that you want.
Yeah, it's the excitement that really is fantastic. Yeah.
That tension, that excitement that, are they going to get out of these spots? Are they going to make that big play? When Mookie Betts made that diving catch to close out that game, I mean, I jumped out of my seat. Like, it was that entertaining. And, unfortunately, a lot of baseball was not that good. So when
on today's slate is not. I mean, let's be honest. There's only one good arm, and we're looking at him right now, Walker Buehler. That's about it. It's ugly.
Today's slate is pretty leaves a lot to be desired.
Mediocre, terrible, disgusting. Don't want to go anywhere near it. Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing with baseball. Like, you're going to have your peaks and valleys. You're going to have your good pitchers, your bad pitchers. But like, when you get a team matchup like the Padres and Dodgers, you got solid lineups on both sides. You got good pitching from everybody. I mean, the fact that, Darvish can pitch as well as he did and still lose to being outdueled by Kershaw. I mean, like, Darvish was like, look, I pitched as well as I can pitch. What can you fault him on? A walk? Like, you can't pitch better than what they pitched. And it's just like circumstances are what they are. But like, if he goes out and pitches that way every game, I mean, he's going to be a Cy Young, winner. Like, it's just such good quality baseball that, some people might look and say, hey, oh, well, it's only, 2-1 or 1-0 or whatever. But
who cares? These games are great. If you're watching them, these are exciting.
Yeah.
Trash talking fans are into it type games. I love it. The atmosphere in these games, it's playoff atmosphere in the first month of the regular season, which is incredible.
Especially in San Diego, where they probably, I'm not going to say the Dodger fans don't care about the Padres, because they do care.
Oh, they're going to care now. Oh,
they're going to care. They
saw that trash talking and them going back and forth. Oh, but absolutely.
But for San Diego, that's like the biggest thing they have. So if they can beat the Dodgers,
we're not betting on
the Dodgers today, is like the whole. There's nothing bigger for a San Diego fan right now. It's the only real professional sport in the city. It's the only chance they get to beat LA. It's their everything. I was doing some stuff in the off season with their in previous years, their fan fests and stuff. And they have this whole complex about Los Angeles. It's just like the little brother syndrome for the city, that no matter what they do, they have to beat Los Angeles. So they're bringing it every game with the emotion, the intensity, the effort. They're going to be fully invested. They really want to win these games, and I think they're going to play really well. Now, can they beat Walker Buehler? That's a tall task.
No, in the game that he pitched last time against them, went extras, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned. So no, only 4 strikeouts, and he's only had 4 strikeouts. Walker Buehler not striking out much. Yeah. And then we got a guy, Ryan Weathers here, who's pitched pretty well. It's just small outings, but he's starting in this one. I would maybe like to say, hey, take your shot on a first 5 money line. I can't trust the Padres at all.
Not in Dodger Stadium.
No, I can't. They're playing poorly. That Brewers series was rough. Maybe let's give a little bit of credit to the Brewers here. Their pitching could be pretty damn good. Maybe we got to give. We all talk about Corbin Burns, but hey, Brandon Woodruff actually was the opener, opening day starter. That Adrian Hauser guy, let me tell you right now, that guy's pretty good, and he's a third starter. That's a great third starter to have. This is actually maybe a good Brewers team that if they get their lineup together a little bit more. Yeah, but I just want to give them credit because the Padres are horrible.
Look, you're not going to get a much better starting rotation than the Brewers. You're going to be pretty. You can match them, but you're going to be pretty hard. It's going to be pretty difficult to outpitch at least the top 3 starters for the Brewers. It's going to be hard. So, the fact that the Padres didn't really show up in that Brewers series that much. Look, if you're facing Woodruff, Burns, Hauser, and everybody else,
Peralta,
good luck. Good luck.
It's good. It's really good.
They're going to be as tough as anybody. So, like we said, the Padres lineup hasn't really been clicking that well. It hasn't been producing the runs it needs to break a game open. It hasn't been getting those lucky hits. It hasn't been getting momentum. So can that change? Sure. They have the pieces that can jump out at any time, but against Walker Buehler in Dodger Stadium, I think tonight might be a hard ask.
Yeah, and looking right now at the board here, here's what we have: Bettor Baseball Podcast, WinDailySports.com. Look, the 5.5 is a large number. It's minus 143 under first 5 because Cobb, I think, is good. Javier can get hit a little bit, but it's 5.5 for the first 5 innings. But if you want it, sure. I'm not doing it because of the money line. Yeah. And then also the Dodgers and Padres right away. I think Weathers can be good for 3-4 innings. I think Walker Buehler can be good for 5, but I look at that money line and it's just way too much. And now you see the Reds money line for what the hell happened in the Reds game?
What?
Minus 167 right now. What the hell? Where the hell did that come from? It was minus 137 when we took it. So that's going away. All right. So here's what we have now that there are some ridiculous money lines out. And that's what's tough in a slate here where pitching's bad. But man, that we had 7 bets right there. And then we had to cut 3 of them because the money lines just got ridiculous. Unbelievable. But we're going Angels money line first 5, right? I think that's a bet we both like, plus 108. Reds over 4.5 plus 102. I know you're definitely on that one. Along with me. Yeah. Are you endorsing as well the over 4.5 with the Cubs today at minus 106?
With Lucchesi on the mound, yes, yeah. I would take over 4.5.
Would you rather? All right, well let's go with this. Would you rather have the Cubs over 4.5 or the money line minus 103? Trevor Williams is on the mound. That's the only reason why I get a little bit scared. But I'm also I know that I can't be too gung ho about this because it's 4.5. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot for the Cubs, even against a left-hander. It's not a particular bet in which I'm overjoyed to be doing right now.
Right. I mean, yes. I'm not dying to place the over 4.5 bet. So, I mean, even with Trevor Williams on the mound, I don't think the Mets.
Okay, something had to have happened in this Diamondbacks Reds game. Let me look it up as we're doing this. My Twitter is getting blown up for some reason. I don't want to I'll figure out what that is later, but let me check to see if we have an injury, starting pitcher scratched, whatever the case may be. Something's going on because the lines are shifting dramatically for a game that's about to go off in an hour. I'm looking at there's nothing there. Widener's pitching. No, it looks all good. Hoffman's pitching. Castellanos in the lineup. Look at that. The first 5, Winker, Castellanos, Valdez, Suarez, Senzel. Nothing's changed, but the line is moving like crazy. We were just talking. Plus 102. The Reds were minus 137, minus 135 we're seeing from Sina Jad in the first 5.
Mm-hmm.
That went crazy. That was minus 167 as we just had to take it off. I don't know what's going on. It can't be this much line movement and betting an hour before the game. This is odd. I don't know what's happening here. But it's a lot of line movement that I don't know what to make of it. The thing is, it's moving in a way that it's in baseball. It's kind of helping us because now we're not getting the same value, but at least we know the Reds are a popular play, or at least the books here really like the Reds. So, all right, that is it for today's Bettor Baseball Podcast. It was great to have Brian back. Yes. And guess what? Brian's going to be back tomorrow, too. At One Fan Power Trip, Thursdays and Fridays with Brian. It's always a good time. We'll be back tomorrow at 10:30. Bettor Baseball Podcast, Win Daily Sports.